So I'm doing my trip on Antarctic Peninsula and South Shetland Islands, and it's going to be a cruise. I chose the dates December 8th through December 9th to make sure you have enough time and a boat travel. Um, with the cruise, have to fly from Atlanta to Buenos Aires to Trelew and then to Ushuaia. It's not included in the cruise package that you would pay just for the cruise, so you have to pay for that separately, which would be around $2,100, which is fairly expensive, but it is a round trip. You're going to arrive in Ushuaia, Argentina on December 7th, which is the day before we leave and get on the boat, which I figured would be easier, so you can just stay in a cheap hotel the night before, which would be Hotel Monaco, which is only about $26 per night. You're going to board the ship December 8th, just the next morning, and start towards Antarctica. And so day 2 and 3, you'll be crossing the Drake Passage and enduring miles of rolling seas and catching glimpses of the changing wildlife once you cross or are crossing the Antarctic convergence. Since wildlife is changing as you pass through the convergence, you can most likely see albatrosses and petrels, along with Cape pigeons and southern fulmars. On day 4 to 6, you'll finally actually be entering Antarctica, and the cruise will pass Melchior Islands and Schollaert Channel and sailing between Brabant and Anvers Islands, including other islands as well, if you're able to get there, because you don't really know during these times where the ice will be and all of that. On day 7, you get to visit the volcanic islands of South Shetlands, and you get to come across Deception Island, which is very popular, and to go to activities near Half Moon Island. On Deception Island, it's actually a active volcano, so that's also a really cool aspect of it. On day 8 to 9, you'll start on your journey back across the Drake, and then day 10, you'll disembark in Ushuaia and catch the flight back home. The total cost is roughly about $10,000 for the whole trip, including the flight and cruise. That's fairly expensive, but I chose to do a cruise because I feel like it's most comfortable knowing you're safe and warm and in the company of people who know what they're doing in this area, which I would pay that much money to know that I'm safe and know that I'm in company that knows what they're doing, rather than me trying to navigate by myself. For the price of $7,900, which is just the cabin, it includes 2 portholes, 2 lower berths, private shower and toilet, a desk and chair, a TV, telephone and Wi-Fi, hairdryer, and ample storage space, which is a little bit on the more expensive side if you want your space. Of course, this would be you and a friend. So, during this whole cruise, you can expect to do a lot of different activities, and you can do camping underneath the Arctic skies. You can do kayaking, which is really fun. A variety of snowshoeing treks. You can make rounds around Deception Island and all the other islands that you'll be going to. Wildlife observing and whale watching. It's really important also to know what to pack. So I have a section over to the side about what to pack, because if you don't pack the right things, then you might be in a world of hurt. So we have your base layers, mid layers, and outer layers, and it's very important to make sure you have enough of them and the right type, otherwise you're going to be very, very cold. For shoes, they prefer hiking shoes, but any closed-toe shoes would work as well. It's also important to bring the right pair of socks, because being from the South, most of us just wear socks as socks, just some white gold toe socks. But here you need to layer, you need liner socks, some wool socks, and some thick wool socks to make sure your feet don't get cold. You can pack like a waterproof thermal gloves, glove liners, a neck gaiter, polarized sunglasses. Probably want to pack sunscreen as well because you can get sunburned. And you want to also pack like casual, warm, on-board clothing and not just clothing you would wear outside of the ship. You also need to make sure that you do bring and pack a passport. You don't really need it to get into Antarctica. You just need it to pass through to get to Antarctica. So when you go to Buenos Aires or Trelew or Ushuaia, you need your passport to get into these different places so you can actually end up getting to Antarctica. But that's about it, and you can see on here that in the top left picture, that is your passage to and from. So that's the trip you'll be making. Right underneath that I have a picture of the South Shetland Islands. And then I have a picture in the top right in the middle of kayaking, which you can experience there if you want to. It's optional, along with all the other activities. And then underneath it has a chart of the best times to go, good times, and not recommended. I chose December because it shows on there to me that that's around like the best time to take that trip and see everything you want to see. And that's about it.